And welcome back to Comfort and Chaos team. Thanks for clicking in. Thanks for tabbing us up. I appreciate you guys. And if you haven't already, if you're brand new to the channel, brand new to what we provide here at Comfort and Chaos, hey, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and be part of the team. All right. We're not going to waste too much of your guys' time. As you know, there's always so much chaos going on in this world today. And we're here to give you a new perspective and help you find comfort in that chaos in our own special way. As you know, I'm also joined by my co-host coming to you live straight from his mountaintop bunker in the undisclosed location. We don't even know where he's at today, but it's somewhere deep and it's in the mountains somewhere. That's all I know. And he's got an interesting t-shirt there. Will, what's that shirt say?
What, this shirt?
Does it say what I think it says?
What do you think it says? what do you
it rhymes with rock.
You're right. It's Glock.
Oh, it's Glock.
Oh,
okay.
Glock perfection, baby.
Glock perfection.
All day, twice on Sunday.
There you go. Well, then, hey, cheers to all that perfection and all that you got going on over there, man. Hey, cheers to that. And cheers to some new chaos that we got this episode, right?
You know it, brother. And you know, I don't know what's in your glass. I know what's in my glass. God damn it.
It never leaves.
One of these days, Buffalo Trace, you're going to call me.
Give us a call, Buffalo Trace. Please give us a call. The chaos is increasing, but the Buffalo Trace is running dry. I need your help. We need your help, team.
and personally, coming from, my undisclosed somewhere in Colorado, some mother's basement. It's a mom's basement somewhere. I need to stay there. I need to keep this thirst quenched with that Buffalo Trace, that sweet nectar of the gods. So give us a call.
Oh man, it's been one. I love Buffalo Trace, dude. You can't go wrong with it. You can't go wrong. Team, if you haven't tried it, give it a shot. There's a lot of history, a lot of pride you can take in sipping a nice, good brown nectar of America right here. This is basically America in a bottle, wouldn't you say?
It is.
This is heritage in a bottle right here.
And to all of our hundreds and hundreds of adoring fans out there, if you could please just pester the shit out of them like we are currently doing to get this up off the ground.
Hell yeah.
And have them be an official partner of the Comfort and Chaos team.
That's right, guys. And if you haven't already, follow the socials, follow the Instagram Instagram link, and you can take one of our reels and just post them and tag them. And I'm going to know when you guys do that. And hey, who knows? We might have to come up with a special prize for you guys, just for the support, do it anyways. And we'll give you some recognition on some episodes, but give you some shout outs. But either way, guys, it's a way to help each other out. We're a team here. So let's help each other out. All right. All right, Will, let's get into this, man. A lot of chaos, chaos, and we kind of touched this on the last episode, but we want to really harp into it today. Obviously, big announcement was made just a few days ago, huge announcement, and a lot of you guys, I'm sure, already tracking, but RFK, good old Bobby Kennedy, Jr., decided that, hey, I'm gonna drop out, but I'm gonna lend my support. Or I'm gonna endorse Trump. And then that was huge, and we're gonna kind of get into it. I'm gonna love to hear your perspective on that. But an also thing that I found surprising, Will, is I found out today that the White House already took his Secret Service away.
Yeah, because he's no longer in the running.
Now, but isn't he still going to be on the ticket? Like, there's still going to be 40 states where he's in. I'm pretty sure there's still going to be certain states, right, where he still be on the ticket.
Yeah, so that's one of the interesting parts, right? So this is all the political game that both the Republicans and the Democrats have been playing. So where he is considering remaining on the ticket, it is in large part because of who he's projected to draw votes from. That's what I'm thinking.
I see.
Okay. Why would you remain on some ballots? Well, if you are backing Trump now,
Mm-hmm.
and you are trying to go after Kamala and kind of shut her down, essentially, and you're in a state where you're going to significantly draw more votes, right? You've already endorsed Trump. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
draw some of those Democrat votes away from her. I think that's what he's trying to do, but
Gosh, man, it just seems so crazy that there's like, like there's so much, I guess, chess. It's like a game of chess, and it's
Yeah.
like, hey, they're going to do this move, but there's an intent, there's an end state behind every move, and coming from, our mission set or our job set, where that is like a factor that we know is going on, but it's just weird to see it just in real world, just out in the public,
Sure. And really, one of the big pushes from this third party run, right, was if they drew a certain percentage of the vote. Now, if I remember correctly, I think it was 5. Don't quote me on that. We need our Jamie, still hiring interns, by the way.
Fact check.
Hey, we have to fact check that. I believe
Fact
it was
check,
like
Jamie.
5% of the vote, right? If they pulled a certain percentage of the vote, well, now you've legitimized a third party. So really, it was
Oh, I
more
see.
for the next run, which would have auto assisted them in ballots, right? Getting onto the ballots in each state, as well as some financing. It would have significantly benefited their campaign really next time. Right.
Oh,
And they were initially drawing when Biden was still in, they were upwards of 10+%. And they were taking a lot of those votes from the Democratic side, right? That middle, probably center left.
yeah.
They were stealing a lot of those votes. So, and we'll kind of get into it here with some of the allegations that were made by the Kennedy campaign and why, right? This is the interesting part to me. You have
Ooh.
RFK, who is a
Mm-hmm.
lifelong Democrat prior to
Mm-hmm.
this election, lifelong Democrat, right? Huge Democrat family, obviously, the
Mm-hmm.
Kennedys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got, I believe it's Nicole Shanahan, who is his VP and lifelong Democrat,
Mm-hmm.
right? Both of which have now backed Trump.
Yeah. Wow.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. But at the same time though, too, I was kind of excited when I saw that, because one thing that got me excited was it kind of lets you know that, hey, you can be from a different party, and in the end, we're still Americans, and it's like, I just kind of like saw it as like, hey, we don't have to agree on everything, but as long as we share the same value, I guess, or the same end state, or if you're going to listen to what I have to say, and I'm going to listen to what you have to say, then there's some kind of common ground as Americans, we can come to, Now, granted, I'm not saying that that's what they're doing. I don't know. I just like to simply hope and wish that, hey, you know what? That I hope that's because we're so divided, and it's so blatantly divided that you don't see. It's just all of a sudden, like you said, oh, you're a party, you're this party. Well, then I automatically hate you now, because if you're a Republican, then that means you're MAGA, and
Yeah.
I'm like, what? That you're just already labeled, like we're both Americans, We're both Americans. Why can't let that be? That's our common denominator. Now let's sit at the table and let's discuss. Let's have a discussion. Let me hear your points. Let me hear your point of view, hear mine, and let's see if there's a common ground as Americans we can come to. I don't know. Like I said, maybe it's just wishful thinking, but I think that's a good example right there, that you can see.
I mean, I think it breaks down to a fundamentals in A, policy, and B, you hit on it in a large way, the values, right?
Mhm.
And when you look at, again, what is the large from the big D, right? The big Democrat. What is their large calling card or their policy point? Orange man bad, threat to democracy. But
that's
every single move that party is making is anti-democracy. That's a full opinion, right? Like I'm sure I'm gonna get screamed at in comments and all that. That's okay. But don't take it from me, right? Let's listen to, right? This is the third party, lifelong Democrat, right? That just dropped out of the race and endorsed Donald Trump. Like,
oh, let's see this. Okay, now explain who we're watching here.
Yeah, so this is RFK's running mate. I believe her name is Nicole Shanahan. I might have that wrong, but so she would be RFK's vice president.
Okay.
She large tech background, lifelong Democrat. Like I said, this is her on the Impact Theory podcast discussing. This was right before they dropped out. But listen to what she says here.
This campaign, I did not put in tens of millions of dollars to be a spoiler candidate. I put in tens of $millions to win, to fix this country, to do the right thing. I will say that Clear Choice, this PAC, this DNC aligned PAC that was created specifically to take us out, has spent millions of dollars to take us out. They have unfortunately turned us into a spoiler. And we don't want to be a spoiler. We wanted to win. We wanted a fair shot. The DNC made that impossible for us. They have banned us, shadow banned us, kept us off stages, manipulated polls, used lawfare against us, sued us in every possible state. They've even planted insiders into our campaign to disrupt it and to create actual legal issues for us. I mean, the extent by which the sabotage they've unleashed upon us, it's mind-blowing. I mean,
she kind of looks like, you can just tell from her body language, she looks like frustrated just talking about this.
I really wanted a fair shot at this election, and I believed in the America that a little girl pledged an allegiance to. And that is not where we are today. And it's not because of the Republican Party taking us out. It is exclusively because of the Democratic Party taking us out. And I am so disappointed I ever helped them. I am so disappointed that I helped Chuck Schumer in that Georgia runoff secure a majority. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes of my life.
Oh, wow. Wow. That is pretty crazy, man. And you know what is crazy is like they pretty much did the same thing to Bernie Sanders, last election, I felt like.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of like shadowed him out, like, hey, kick rocks, dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was they tossed him under a bus. They tossed Tulsi Gabbard, who's now assisting Trump, under the bus. Like you can hear it in her voice.
You can even see it in her body language. Like you can see her eyes are just showing, like her eyes will tell you everything, especially when you're sitting in an interview or something. But her eyes, you can just see like there's frustration. There's real emotion there. Like she is frustrated, really just feels kind of like she was all in, and she's just very disappointed. Like she looks very just like hurt and disappointed, Yeah. You can see that.
And it's that Clear Choice pact, right? That sued to get them off ballots, that attacked them in every kind of way. And I'm going to throw the Republican Party a little bit under the bus too, right? They didn't want them debating. They didn't want them on that debate where it was Trump and Biden. And they both basically said, "No, you're not going to come on stage with us."
I
but it was really the Democrats that basically targeted them because they were stealing so much of that center left vote right? The folks that saw Biden and were like, Jesus Christ, like, especially after that debate, oh my God, like, we can't vote for this man. And I still hate Trump, so I'll go RFK, right? And that's where he was drawing upwards of that 10+% of the vote.
And he certainly was.
As soon as Harris comes in, right? She realigned that base, and all of those RFK voters that were kind of like on that fence shifted back into the D party. Well, they kept targeting the RFK campaign until they said, fuck it. Like, there's nothing we can do at this point. And we're now taking so many more votes away from Trump. We are essentially now been turned into a spoiler candidate, and we'll fucking pull out and we'll go for Trump, since he wasn't the guy that was fucking targeting us. So that might in an election that is, if you look at the polls, extremely tight, everything's margin of error. And now you have that candidate, that third party candidate, which there should be third party candidates, there should be fourth party candidites, there should be fifth party candidates, right? We should have choices, not this R&D bullshit.
I agree.
Okay, so now that might have actually fucked them. They might have played that way too aggressive, and that might hurt them come election day. It's only time's going to tell.
It's going to be one heck of a race. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be there's going to be a lot of emotions and a lot of social media posts. Like, brace yourself, team. You think this is chaos now? There's gonna be a huge wave of chaos on. It's coming. It's coming.
The best one I've seen so far is hey RFK, didn't the CIA murder your family? Like, how would you like to be their boss? If Trump puts fucking RFK as the head of the CIA, that's the funniest thing on the planet. That would be absolutely fucking hilarious.
Holy crap, man. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that would be insane.
Oh shit.
It's going to be crazy, man. I'm kind of like nervous, just to see how this is going to pan out. It's like waiting for the Super Bowl, and like, oh man, what's going to happen? The Super Bowl's coming up. And especially with this announcement now, it really saddens me to hear that there is obviously one, we are so set on this two-party system, and that there's no support or anything, because like I touched base earlier in the episode, they already pulled his Secret Service off, like now, and basically that what they're symbolizing is your life's no longer going to be protected by us. So where is it going to be protected? It's like the closer you are to Trump, the more protection you're going to have. Like, that's the only way you're going to have it, other than you're just going to be on your own, and anything can happen to you,
Yeah. I mean,
mind you though, they didn't even give him Secret Service until after the assassination attempt on Trump. And he was even like, he put in for it. Like,
correct.
I mean,
well, here's the other thing. The other interesting thing is, I believe, oh God, I might get this wrong too. She's the head of the Green Party. I believe it's Jill Stein. I might be getting that name wrong. Thank you, Buffalo Trace. But she's also come out and basically corroborated a lot of what Kennedy's campaign is saying. Like, hey, like, we're having the exact same shit done to us by the Democratic Party. They're trying to ensure that our voices are silenced, and that is coming from the major political party in the U.S. right now, right? That's disgusting.
Yeah, man. It's like that's, I mean, if you're not cheating, you're not trying,
Yeah. There's a lot of cheating going on.
It's like that. I feel like that's what it comes down to. It's like, hey man, you can't even win fair and square. That you got to cheat, dude. Like, you got to cheat. And it's already bad enough where, like, I was listening to an interview earlier from Bernie Sanders. He was on a podcast, Theo Vaughn podcast of all podcasts, I know. Awesome. But he answered a question, because Theo Vaughn just straight up told him, like, if I were to run for president, which obviously he could, and he meets the qualifications, he could. But the way the system is now, if you don't have the money, you're not going to make it. I'll beat you. Like Bernie straight up told him in the interview, he just said, if I'm running against you, you're coming in and you're raising up your own funds. I have tens of millions of dollars. I'm going to beat you. You know?
Yeah. And that's the crazy part is, you know, about the RFK, they had millions and millions of dollars. And still not even close.
Yeah. You need more than that, man. You need more than that. I mean, hey,
It's
I like
okay.
to like the DNC, you know, they like saying that, oh, Trump has all these billionaires speaking at his rallies and all this stuff. Like, dude, you guys have billionaires too. Speak of yours, you know?
Yeah.
Like, come on now.
You got
guys
Oprah
too.
and Michelle Obama talking about, you know, how ostensibly like wealth needs to be redistributed, and not to trust people with money. You're like, what are you? Which mansion did you just come from on your private jet? Like, get the fuck out of here.
This doesn't make sense. Okay. Oh wow. Oh wow, dude. We're in for some chaos coming up. Can't wait.
Oh, I've got another one for you.
Oh, let me see. What you got.
Oh yeah. So yeah. This one's rough, man. So U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement has lost track of tens of thousands of unaccompanied minors over the last 5 years. So New York Times really kind of broke this story, but an internal watchdog within the DHS sent a report to Congress on this last Tuesday titled Management Alert. ICE cannot monitor all unaccompanied migrant children released from DHS and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services custody. The report warned that over the past 5 years, more than 32,000 unaccompanied migrant children are no longer accounted for by ICE. So during their ongoing audit to assess ICE's ability to monitor the location and status of those unaccompanied minors who were released or transferred from the custody of DHS and then Health and Human Services, they learned that ICE transferred more than 448,000 from 2019 to 2023. And ICE was not able to account for the location of all of those minors who were released and did not appear at scheduled immigration court. They reported more than 32,000 failed to appear for their court hearings over that 5-year period, and that a large portion of those unaccounted for migrant children is a consequence of individuals failing to appear at the court hearings after being released from government custody. So basically, DHS was releasing unaccompanied migrant children to God knows who.
Jeez, dude.
They weren't vetted, and anybody who attempted to raise warning flags, including those who were like being contacted, like they were like slipping these kids that they were like afraid, like, oh God, we're releasing these kids to gang members, to fucking potentially be
anybody.
sex slaves,
cartel, anybody.
Right? Like, we're releasing these kids and we're worried. They would like slip them a phone number, and then these kids were calling like, hey, like I'm getting raped. And when they would report it, they were told to shut the hell up.
Damn, dude.
It's so wild. Like, this is how this is not even more of, I don't know how everybody's not super pissed at this. Like everybody lost their fucking minds when, you know, AOC was caught fake crying about the children in cages that was originally an Obama thing. And then got kind of blamed on Trump. Like, everybody lost their fucking minds. They not a fucking word. Not
crickets.
Fucking word. Right?
Crickets.
So here's some more detail on this one, man.
Whistleblowers are alleging major failures of the Department of Health and Human Services and the Unaccompanied Children program. They say the department lost track of thousands of migrant children, some of whom have been trafficked, abused, and forced to work. Emma from the Fact Check team joins us now. Let's start with the figures first, Emma. How many migrant children are missing, and how do these whistleblowers come up with this number?
Yeah, so they're referring to reporting done by the New York Times, who found 85,000 migrant children replaced with sponsors here in the U.S. and have since been unaccounted for. Now, what the whistleblowers mean by unaccounted for is DHS's Office of Refugee Resettlement, ORR, never got a hold of the sponsor who took in the migrant child. The ORR is supposed to follow up with safety and well-being calls between 30 to 37 days after the child is placed with their sponsor. But in 40%.
So they're calling. They basically they cut these kids loose to not family, not necessarily family, just
a sponsor.
Yeah,
quote unquote.
Heavy on the
sponsor.
Quotes, right? And then they call them like 30 days later, and they're like, "Hey, man, like where's little Juan that we placed in your custody?" And they're like, "Don't know who you're talking about."
Wow, man.
And DHS is like, "Okay, well, we'll just mark that one in the books and forget about it."
Of their cases in 2021, they either didn't document the call with the child sponsor, or they didn't even call altogether. And that's all according to the Office of Inspector General, who has recently looked into these issues.
The Unaccompanied Children program
and
was
what are you going to do?
About 2 decades
Look into them and then what?
Some serious allegations.
Silenced.
Why all of this now?
Kick
yeah,
rocks.
so it was established all the way back in 2003, but the Biden administration changed the vetting rules for sponsors of the program in 2021, March of 2021. So they did this all to streamline the process of releasing the migrant children from government custody, but have been criticized by both Republicans and Democrats for loosening the background check rules and allegedly putting these migrant children in danger.
All right, thank you, Emma. And later on,
that just blows my mind, man. And like I said before, that just zero accountability. Like this is what zero accountability. Like you said before, and it's sad. It's sad to say that something like this, missing kids, it's being politicized. So yeah, you said before, you can go after, it depends on what administration is in charge. Then that's when it means something. And that's what's sad. It should be an issue regardless. Like we should have a common denominator, common ground where this is an issue. This is wrong. This is immoral. This is wrong. There you go. We should share that.
Yeah. And when you create the absolute dog shit policies that the Biden Harris administration has created that has exacerbated this problem, right? And right, we're what, 10 million in the last, the number of illegals that have crossed the border is absolutely insane. Every state's now a border state. Like it's millions and millions coming across, right?
Yeah.
And they could have done right. They rolled back the Trump era policies, the Remain in Mexico policy. They did all that. And then it wasn't until, hey, we start coming around election time, and now everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm tough on the border. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I mean, yeah, and it's not even about, and I know we probably share the same point of view here, but I don't care what party's in charge, at this point. Here's an issue. What's the solution?
Oh, but it's been an issue for decades and nobody will touch it. Like, oh, this is why we need a third party or a fourth party, right? Like, hey, to tackle some of these problems, and give diversified views, right? The majority of Americans think this is a problem.
Everybody does, dude. It's kids, man. I don't.
No, the kids.
I know President Trump was a few days ago, wasn't he just giving a speech at the border too? I think he was kind of going over some of these facts too.
It's bad.
But even though, I would even ask him if I was out there, like, all right, sir, well, what's the solution? Like, this has been an issue, what is the solution, to make it no longer an issue? Because
you actually send people back. You work with the other countries, right? Specifically Mexico, the Remain in Mexico policy, right? You don't just cut people loose, hand them some money and a cell phone.
Say,
and,
hey.
and say, hey, which city do you want to go to? You hop on. Oh, you want to head to New York? Hop on that bus or hop on this flight. And they're flying them. And they're just dropping them off. Like, okay, hey, where do you want to go? Like, all right, give us a call. Like, I don't know, sometime in the next 5 to 7 years where we'll actually have your immigration hearing. But stay in touch in between now and then. And yeah, man, like, cool. No, man. That has happened under the current administration, right? And people knew about, right? They figured it out. They were like, oh, the borders are open. And that's what the flood, right? The flood is here. I mean, and here's right. I've got another video for you, right? This is one of the recent hearings on this issue. It's brutal, man.
Oh man, when was this conducted?
I believe this is in the last couple of weeks because the New York Times story just broke. So I want to say last week.
Yeah, look at that. Look at all those empty
Thank you, Mr.
seats.
Chairman. Ms. Marcus, can I just start with you? You testified a moment ago to Senator Butler that every child gets a Know Your Rights presentation. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is that before or after you release them to labor traffickers?
Ugh. Look at her fucking face.
Senator, every child that comes into our care gets a Know Your Rights presentation as well as...
Have you read these New York Times reports? These stories, the series of stories the New York Times has done on the children who are in your care? Have you read them?
Yes, I have.
Have you read that children are scrubbing dishes? They are operating heavy machinery. They are delivering meals. They are harvesting coffee. They are working construction. They are working as housekeepers. They are working overnight shifts at plants where they are not paid. They are not going to school. They are not cared for. They are not giving meals. Almost all of it illegally. Are you aware of that? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Do the Know Your Rights presentation help them in those situations?
Senator, ORR...
That's a yes or no, I think. Do you really think that you're helping these children by releasing them to labor traffickers and, yes, sex traffickers? 85,000 children whom you have no contact with, and your answer is we gave them a presentation before we turned them over to these people who are exploiting them on a scale not seen in this country for 100 years, a century. A century. It's a disgrace in the United States of America. Let me ask you this. You did an audit, I noticed, where you gave yourself a clean bill of health. So just tell me this.
Of course you did.
Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Senator, we have a thorough vetting process.
Do you require sponsors to document their relationship with the child?
Yes, we go through.
No, you do not. You do not. Have you read the Senate's Permanent Subcommittee on Investigations reports on your office? There was one in 2016. There was one in 2018. There was one in 2020. There was one in 2022. Spanning administrations, what they found is you do not require sponsors to document their relationship with the child. You release them anyway. What about background checks? Do you require background checks on all adults in the household?
Well, she said a vetting.
In cases where the child is being released to their parents, we do not require background checks. But Senator, I would
do you require background checks on all adults in the household in any case?
Yes, in some cases we do.
What percentage of cases do you do background checks on the adults in the household?
I don't have that number in front of me.
Do you do home visits in all cases? You can actually see where these children are being released, whose care you're putting them in?
Nope.
We do not do home visits in all cases. Senator, I'd really like to talk about what we are doing.
I know what you're doing, and it's incredibly and totally inadequate.
I'd be like,
and we can read about it in the New York Times.
Here's the result of what you're doing.
You say you've read it. Let's talk a little bit about that New York Times report, if we could.
Here's
a quote from the April 17th installment.
I don't know why he doesn't
Again and
ask,
again,
like,
veteran
okay,
government staffers and outside.
What are you going to do to fix it? And then we'll check in a week from now. When do you want us to check? When can you tell us? When do you want us to come down so we can check on how you fixed it? I always wonder why, I treat it like, I don't know. Maybe I just think differently as a leader, where it's like, okay, here's the issue. All right, you're in the seat right now to fix it. What are you going to do to fix it? Like, I'll end my questioning with that.
They haven't done anything to fix it,
But
right?
see,
this is the, well, now I'll give you. Okay, so it's two. I think it's two parts, right? One, right? When we talk about the executive branch, right, and what their responsibilities are, and right, the way that they rolled back all of the Trump era stuff, right, and their policies of catch and release, or just fuck it, release. I don't even want to call it catch and release. It's release and release.
Just release and release.
Just fuck it. Like, hey, where do you want to go? Here you go, homie. Have a good day. Right. That has created a large chunk of the problem. Right. But then the same senators that and congressmen and women that are questioning, right, and so outraged, right, have also done absolutely fuck all.
Exactly.
And they're the keepers of the purse, right? They're the ones that make the laws. They're the one, right? Like, and they can't get a fucking thing done. All of them.
Exactly.
All of them need to be shit canned.
I know. And that's what I'm saying. It's like, dude, okay, yeah, you can go over there and hound her all you want. But then I would even ask, like, okay, well, what are you gonna do to fix it? You know, what's next? What are you gonna do to fix it?
The Democrats don't want to fix it.
No,
they don't want to fix it. They do not want to fix it.
Gosh, dude. Way to bring it down, bro. Way to bring it down. We should have made this be the first topic.
Both of these are terrible, man.
I know, but this one is like, dude, this me. This is a real world issue that everyone, no matter who you vote for, what party you belong to, you should be in tune that, dude, these are kids, man.
Yeah.
These are legit kids. Now, granted, yes, the whole process is fucked up. That's why they're here. But you know what? They're here. So now what are we gonna do to fix it? Like, we shouldn't just lay like you said earlier, you know, the New York Times broke this, but no one else is talking about it. You know, because you're not hearing it on CNN, you're not hearing it on Fox News. Like,
you're hearing it on Fox, right? Because it's a fucking disgrace for the Democrats, right? You're hearing it in some of the right wing, right side, right? Because it's being politicized.
It's being politicized. That's what I mean.
And you know, on the other side of the aisle, like, they're downplaying it because they need to prop up the current administration and pretend like they had this hard on the border policy, and it's just not true.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
You can just open your fucking eyes.
Yeah,
right? Like it's the same thing where they were propping Biden up, right? Like, oh no, he's fine. Like, everybody's like, no, he's great. He's fucking playing chess. You know, while he's doing foreign policy, he's so on the game, until like he literally like shit himself on stage, and then it was a problem, right? Like, everybody was like, whoa, like, you can't hide that anymore. They were hiding it the whole fucking time.
They were, and the whole, it just, bro, it's tough out there, man. It's just tough. It's tough. I'm happy for you because you made it through. You retired. You're good.
Hey, man, like, I'm good but I'm not in that, right? Like, this, right? I have a son. I have a kid. And it is absolutely disgusting that we as Americans have allowed this to happen, and we should demand a lot more from the people that we are, you know, putting our faith and trust in. It's a government for the people, by the people. And I don't think there's a single American on the face of the planet that thinks this is okay.
No, I don't think so, man. But this is where I would even think, like, even the media outlets, like, come on, man, you guys should be like, hey, who cares in charge? Look, this is a real issue. What are they going to do about it? You know, like, what are you going to do? You claim to be unbiased. You know, you claim all this. Well, here's an opportunity for you to demonstrate it right here. You got one right here, clear and simple, clear as day. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And nothing, man. Nothing. Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. we'll have to move on to something else. We need a happy topic to end with, man. We can't just end on a sour note like that. We need a actually, you know what's funny? It's funny. We'll end with this because I heard this the other day on a show, and it was a hot topic in a discussion I had this morning at brunch. But how this is totally off topic, and we're gonna have them here, but this is some chaos that I'm pretty sure a lot of us have to deal with in, say, our relationships, or if you're dating, But how important is it to you, Will? Let me just ask you, how important is, picture yourself back in the dating age, how important is it, for your spouse or for you, for your spouse or your significant other to wash your hands? Is it a thing?
Yeah.
Is it a thing? Like you're like, let's shit, hey, go wash your hands. Is that a thing or is it not?
Yeah. You got to wash your hands, man. Like you got like you can't be coming out the bathroom without washing the hands, or what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, what? Do you not wash your fucking hands? I've been in your house.
I know. I wash my hands. I wash my hands.
Okay.
But right. I'm just saying, there's apparently now there's like a new trend where people just aren't washing their hands, especially young people, and they're dating. And now there's certain women out there where obviously it could bother them if their significant other washes their hands, or it's not a big deal because they don't wash their hands,
Why did we stop these kids from eating Tide Pods? Can we start feeding them Tide Pods?
Bring back Tide Pods. Bring back Tide Pods.
Sort itself out. Like these are the kids that were like they had to put shit on so they wouldn't eat the fucking Tide Pods. Like this would no, man.
No, it's funny how I was just shocked. I was like, how is this a thing? Apparently, this is a thing now. And then there's another thing. There's a new trend as well. The other trend is now people are charging people to go to their weddings. So nowadays you get married, but now it's like, hey, RSVP with this $25 per person ticket, being charged to come to their weddings. Now, granted, hey, inflation, the economy's not the best. People are, the dollar isn't going as far as it used to. But what do you think of that, Will? Would you come to my wedding if I told you, hey, come to my wedding, here's the invitation, but you also got to pay to come to my wedding?
No, man. No, man. I reckon you get your ass kicked for saying something like that.
I'm right there with you. I'm like, why would you charge somebody to come to your wedding? That would
tip culture, like,
dude. That's what it is.
So
tip culture now. That's exactly what it is. It's tip culture.
The iPad around, like, and I'm paying like $9 for a fucking coffee, and they're like, I'm at a food truck. And they're
you're at a food truck or you're at the Starbucks line.
Motherfucker, you're not bringing this shit out. If I'm ordering standing up, I'm not tipping you.
Tip culture has gone insane. So now it is infiltrated weddings now where the bride and groom are legit charging people to come to their wedding. Like it's starting to be a trend now,
You know what?
And I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it until Cass, one of her friends, invited her to her wedding. And she came and told me, oh, yeah, but we got to pay to go. And I'm like, is there going to be a concert or some celebrity going to be there and put on a show? Like, well, what's up?
You better find some new friends. That's what you should.
I just said, I'm not going. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not going. No, I'm sorry. You're not. And best of luck to you, but you shouldn't charge people to come to your wedding. Like you shouldn't, and if it's because you can't afford it, then compromise, chop it up, figure out what you need and prioritize what really matters
for real,
and have it where you don't have to charge people,
No, don't do it.
Yeah, man. I just thought we'd throw in a little offbeat, little pop culture stuff in there just to kind of ease off these topics.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. Yeah, we probably needed that.
Yes, we did.
Right. Make sure that everybody's shoelaces stay on their feet. Let's do that.
Oh, well, man. I got nothing else, man. You got anything else for the team?
stay safe.
Brace yourselves.
Yeah, like it's coming, man. Like, and it's just you know what?
Is.
I think I said this before, right? I had a Ranger buddy who told me this, right? Like, hey, little buddy, like, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Okay, don't worry about it. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get way fucking worse before it gets better.
Oh yeah,
but it'll get better.
What I used to always hate is whenever like you're going through training or selection or you're going through some type of like course or pipeline, and then they'll always tell you you're halfway to the halfway point. It's going to get better. Don't worry. You know, you're halfway to the halfway point. I used to hate that. I hated hearing that.
And that's why now it sticks
to my head. It sticks to my head right now. It's like, you're halfway to the halfway point. You're just like, shut up. Don't even tell me that.
I'm living 10 seconds at a time, man. Fuck you.
All right, man. All right, Will, I appreciate you. Hey, team, I thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for being present. And like I said before, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. We are an up and coming, growing channel. We want you guys to be part of the growth. And as we go forward in the comfort and chaos organization, I guess you would say it. Sorry, I went a little mind blank right there. But either way, guys, we got a lot more stuff coming. If you like this content, if you like this video, please hit that like button, share it with somebody who can benefit. And if you have some points or opinions too, or a whole different perspective over any of the topics we discuss, especially washing your hands, please comment down below. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I would love to read them and interact and engage with you guys and even learn something or two, you know? So I appreciate that. Will, you got any last words for the team?
Yeah, you comment down below that you don't wash your hands. I'm making fun of you. That is all.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one, team.